That's right, yeah. How you like this weather now? So good. How you like this weather? Well, it's getting warmer. Ask me again in May. Ask again tomorrow. It gets below 60 out here tomorrow.
Ari, you came into the sanctuary, but you lost the rest of your family?
You enjoying this weather?
But it's gotten a little chilly.
I know. Just like that.
Just like that, it got a little chilly. It was Wednesday, right? Wednesday morning was summer, and then it rained, and Wednesday afternoon it was chilly.
Oh, yeah. That was it.
And that was it.
Yeah. I think it was like 80 degrees.
Wednesday morning, absolutely. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. How great that we are able to be together, and thank you so much to Paula for hosting our Nosh before services, so we can fill our bellies before we fill our souls with prayer. So thank you so much for hosting and for reminding me who all helped you. There's so many people here who helped you. So who helped you?
Well, Julie, Martha.
Julie, Martha, thank you, thank you. And Elise.
And James.
And James.
And all the people, Leia's gonna help, and all the people who ate.
Wonderful. All the people who ate helped you. I
as excited as they are.
Yeah.
I just got back on Sunday from a trip out to Palm Springs. It was fun. And I was 2.5 blocks down the street from what they call the synagogue in French in Naperville. Let me tell the whole story. I went to services there. It was a beautiful sanctuary, beautiful, and everything else in the city.
I am not surprised that your trip included a tidbit of trivia. For those who don't know Jackal, if you need to know anything, any bit of trivia, that's who you go to. I'm sure afterwards I could ask you a little bit about, since we just had leap day, right? Leap year, February 29th, which in the rabbi world, everybody's asking right now, when is leap day on our calendar and leap year in the Jewish calendar, right? Because we're in the first Adar of 2 Adars this year, going to coincide again. And someone has some answers. That's a lot of math that I can't do right now. But other wonderful things that are happening for people?
We're going to be celebrating my mother's 86th birthday this weekend.
Very nice. You took tests? So the good news is that they're over, or that you have your grades back already? The teachers are grading them now? Nice. So the good thing is that we're two. Okay, and you are survived, because I still see you. Other good things? Yeah, I don't know if I should let my dad talk. Yeah.
I fulfilled one of my retirement requirements. I am officially a snowbird.
My parents spent a month in, was it a full month? 5 weeks? 5 weeks at a condo in Navarre Beach, and are now here for a little bit before heading back to Ohio, where you might actually find snow. So here birds, there snow.
I missed 3 storms.
Other good things? Yeah.
And I give a paper in Kansas City in October.
We need some good restaurants to go to. I can help you. We can help you with that. Or I don't know what kind of sports you're into, but they have a Super Bowl winning football team. So yeah. Eliana, what do you say? Since we live in Kansas, go Chiefs. Yeah, I'm not allowed to say that here though. Sorry. What's your? Are you saying something? What?
She's just beaten the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. I won't say anything I said on this specific, not at all.
Rabbi?
Yes.
And those of us from Louisiana, if Eliana had said that, I'd be thinking of the Mardi Gras Chiefs and the Mardi Gras Indians.
Different world here I've moved to. Different world. Any other joyful things helping us enter Shabbat tonight? So I'm going to invite you now to take out your prayer book. It's the thick blue book. Hopefully you can find in front of you. There are more over here if there is not one at your seat. And we're going to enter Shabbat by lighting our Shabbat candles. You can find the readings and the blessing for our candles on page 120 and 121. And I am going to invite Robbie and David to lead us in lighting our Shabbat candles. Okay.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Beautiful. I gave you short candles.
Well, I just kind of hold it there until it catches.
Let us join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Wonderful. Thank you both so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As they make their way back to their seats, I have to share that this is my second time lighting Shabbat candles in this space because on many Friday mornings I am lucky to have the Rainer kids come out and sit in that front row. They sit in the front row. Obviously nobody else does, but they sit in the front row. It's reserved for our Rainer students. And we bring in the warmth of Shabbat and we sing that song to welcome Shabbat and say the prayer over the candles. And then I face them and I go, 1, 2, 3. And what do you think they all do? Peekaboo. And so I got to do that this morning with our wonderful 2s and 3s and 4-year-olds as we then filled the pot with water and chicken soup, and a dinosaur came to visit us. If you remember your Tot Shabbat days, the boys over there remember it. So it's so beautiful for me to be able to welcome Shabbat in such different ways. Let us continue as we turn in our prayer books to page 127. As we read together the prayer that you see near the bottom of the page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God. Let us continue welcoming Shabbat as we welcome the Sabbath bride with the words of Lecha Dodi, page 138 and 139. We will sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 with the chorus in between. When we get to that 9th and final verse, if you are comfortable doing so, at that moment I'll invite you to rise, to face our open doorway and greet Shabbat just like you would greet someone coming over to your house. Let us join together. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmianu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet ve'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'maksheva techila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri kiva orech kumi uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Teretz bala, gam besimcha, uvesohola, tochemune, am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, panei Shabbat, nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, panei Shabbat, nekabela. Before you take your seats, I'm going to invite you to wish a Shabbat Shalom to someone sitting to your right, to your left, in front of you, behind you. Shabbat Shalom, David. Once you've had a moment to greet each other, I'm going to invite you to head back to your seats. And let us continue this theme of welcoming as we welcome the ministering angels of Shabbat with the words of Shalom Aleichem, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzhem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This past week, I have had the opportunity to have not one, not two, but 3 people ask me about the jewels that are Mishkan Tefillah of our prayer book. And so when I went through our prayer book trying to decide which words we're going to sing and which words we're going to read tonight, I realized that there are these little gems that we don't focus on so much. And sometimes it's because I always do the right-hand side of the page, which is the more traditional Hebrew side, and I don't read out loud with us what's on the left-hand side of the page. So we're going to do both on the next set of pages. So I'm going to invite you to first look at the very bottom of page 145. And before we read this, I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. And as you breathe, try to focus on these moments of Shabbat. Try to leave your worries aside as we enter these transitional moments of our liturgy. A moment where we're supposed to prepare ourselves to be ready to pray, whatever that means for you. So I'm going to invite you to read with me on the very bottom of page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. Now we're going to turn to the right-hand side of the page, page 144, and join together in our Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'kadash shemei rabba. Be'oma divrach yotev yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman karib ve'imeru. Yahei shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam olam me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ve'alma ve'imeru. As we turn the page and we find ourselves on page 146, I invite you to please rise. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Barehu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach. Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach. Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. Let us read together page 149, beginning in the middle. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We continue in the middle of page 151. Together, wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. As we turn the page and find the words of Shema, I invite you to rise if you wish. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. We chant together page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol lavavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam livanecha vidibarta bam. Beshivtecha b'veitecha uvleftecha v'derech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kidoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim lichiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Let us read responsively page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Page 158, we sing together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot o seifele mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Let us read together at the top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Anybody want to share their favorite part about Shabbat? Favorite part about Shabbat? Does this mean being with family? Having fun at onegs and stuff. Did you know what the word oneg means? It's a Hebrew word. What did you say? Feast? It should mean feast, but it doesn't. Anybody know? You remember? hands up. David, yeah.
I would say because it represents the true meaning of what Sabbath means, that it brings peace, and that it brings comfort, and even a reminder of redemption, I would say.
Beautiful, thank you. I get to stand in the middle, in this space at least. And I don't think you realize how lucky we are, because this community sings, which is good because I don't sing so well. And this community participates. And so one of my things that I've really started loving about Shabbat, and maybe you'll hear it for the rest of the night because I've really heard it so far, is all of our voices coming together. No, we don't all read at the same speed. No, we don't all sing at the right pitch because I obviously don't start you on any pitch. And we might not even be singing the exact same way as our neighbor. But all of our voices coming together have truly started to become this joy, this oneg for me as well. And so why do we emphasize Shabbat? For lots of reasons, but this week specifically, anybody know why I'm pausing to emphasize Shabbat this week? Anybody want to guess? It is the 1st of March and I cannot believe it, I will say that. But something special this week? Do you know? Okay, so it was a leap year, absolutely, yeah, and first grade teachers tell us to bring home a project and take it out 4 years later because I'm going to remember where I put it yesterday, but Okay, so Jeopardy question, I guess. I emphasize Shabbat tonight because this week's Torah portion is one of the places where we find, it's multiple places, but this week's Torah portion is one of the places where we find the commandment to remember and to keep Shabbat, which are the reasons why the words of Vishamru, Exodus 31, 16 to 17, you see that in the footnote of our gem of a book here, page 162, is why it is used in our Shabbat service. So let us think about all of those things we love about Shabbat as we remember and we keep and we sing Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. As we turn the page to page 164, we find our opening line to our Amidah. We will chant together the right-hand side of the page. I invite you to chant at your pitch and your tone and your speed with us, or to find one of the gems on the left-hand side of the page, or find the words in your own heart, as on page 164, we rise together. Adonai sepatai tifta ufi yaditer hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu, Baruch atah Adonai, Magina Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mekayeh HaKot HaGrab LeHoshia, Mashiach HaRuach Umorid HaGashem, Mekakel Chaim Bechesed, Mekayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somit Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayeh Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mikamocha Ba'al Yevurot, Umidom Melech, Melech Menit, Umekayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh ha'kol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim b'kol yom halelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. I invite you now to continue with your own prayers, either the words you find in the pages until page 180, or the words you find in your own hearts this evening, and I invite you to be seated whenever you wish. Oh, say shalom bimroma, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. As we pray for shalom, as we pray for peace, many of us might be feeling that sense of peace. But we know there are those both with us in our sanctuary tonight and in our friends, our family, and throughout the world who are having a little bit of trouble finding their peace. And possibly it's because they suffer illness of body, illness of spirit, or illness of mind. So we turn our prayers now to those in need of healing. Our UJCBR prayer for healing can be found on page 371. As a community, we think of Joy Lewis, Minna Bat Yentl, Mordechai Ben Dina, Anna Carlo, Judy Roheim, Frida Tamara Bat Liba Beila, Manucha Pesa Bat Cherny Umosha, Gretchen Haynes, Ruby Smolinski, Jennifer Casson, Storm Matthews, Terry Stern, Judith Von Brentnell, Kaylee Barron, Zisel Bat Yentl, David Berman, Harvey Schwartzberg, Maxine Cohn, David Leek, Barbara Stockner, Janet Gerwich, Danielle Riker, Buddy Ben Margarita, Laura Swire, Susan Wasserman, Nevin Rose, Edie Bernard, Cindy DeMarco, Sheldon Rawson, James Stockner, Vicki Jenkins, Steve Ginsberg, Yitzchak David Ben Chana, David Ben Elva, Joel Ben Mildred, and Elizabeth Clubb. If there are others you are thinking of in need of healing, if you'd like to share their names aloud, I invite you to do so.
Gary Blackcamp, Paul Robershaw.
Andy Hayes and Faye Bruce.
John King.
James Coker.
Vanessa.
For the names we heard aloud, those whom we hold in our hearts, and those in need of healing in Israel, let us offer these prayers of healing. UJCBR Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. UJCBR Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. In the book Man's Quest for God by Abraham Joshua Heschel, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, anybody read it? Man's Quest for God? There's a story in that book told by Rabbi Israel Friedman about a small Jewish town, and this is the story I want to share with you tonight. A small Jewish town existed a long time ago. Now, this town was far off from the main roads of the land, but it had all of the necessary municipal institutions that it needed. So for a Jewish town, a mikveh, a cemetery, a hospital, a synagogue, a law court, as well as lots of different types of craftsmen, tailors, shoemakers, carpenters, masons. What else might have possibly been in this town if it had almost everything that it needed? What'd you say? A jeweler. We're going to get there in a moment. Maybe a jeweler. What'd you say? A butcher. Okay. What do you think? A banker. Okay. Blacksmith, okay. A scribe. Candlestick maker. So all of these things, yes. But this story is told of this town that had everything it needed, except for it was lacking one thing. There was no, this is a digital watch, but watchmaker. There was no watchmaker. Don't imagine my little Fitbit watch here. Imagine a long, long time ago watch. Over the course of many, many years, the clocks became so annoyingly inaccurate that their owners just decided to let them run down and ignore them altogether. There were others, however, who maintained that as long as the clocks ran, they should not be abandoned. So they would wind, anybody, hopefully, maybe some of the parents in the room might need to explain to some of the kids in the room. Eliana will teach you later what I mean by this. But they would wind the watches and all of the clocks. And as long as they ran, they kept winding them and winding them. Even though they knew, without a watchmaker, that it might not be an accurate watch. But guess what happened one day? What do you think happened to the town? What was the big, exciting news for this town? They got a watchmaker. One day the news spread through the town that a watchmaker had arrived. And everyone rushed to him with their clocks. Now what do you think happened? What do you think happened? They all what? Okay, so maybe they went to the next, like, the next iPhone, right? The next big thing. What do we think happened? Any other ideas?
Ari has one.
Oh, that is probably true. The watchmaker could have been overwhelmed. Anybody else have an idea? Do you have an idea? The watchmaker made a lot of money because, go find the town without the watchmaker, right? So remember, there are these two groups of people. There were the groups of people that abandoned their watches and just let them be because there was no watchmaker to make sure they were accurate on time. And then there was this other group of people that no matter what, they kept winding their watch. The watchmaker received both types of watches, but the only ones he could repair, what do you think? Were the ones the people, even though they weren't working, kept working on them and kept winding them and winding them. They were the only ones he could keep running. The abandoned clocks had grown too rusty and he could not fix them. What does this story teach you? Keep things running. I heard someone over here say something. Don't give up.
Keep your mind active.
Keep your mind active. What do you think? Okay, keep trying and you don't give up. Patience.
The perfect is the enemy of the good. I mean, so their watches were a little bit behind, maybe they were inaccurate. It was better than abandoning them.
Yeah.
If it doesn't move, grease it.
Say that one more time.
If it doesn't move, you paint it. And if it does move, you oil or grease it.
Okay. Is everybody hear him?
Oil and grease it.
I don't know if I'm repeat it now. If it doesn't move, paint it. If it does move, oil or grease it. So sleeping children, I paint. Running children, I grease. I'm pretty sure I got that. Any other ideas? Use it or lose it. Right? Although the watches were not accurate, right? What's that phrase though? It's right 2 times a day, right? Although the watches were not accurate, they kept at it. Although it wasn't doing exactly what they wanted it to do, although it wasn't going exactly as planned because they weren't accurate 90% of the time, they kept at it. They kept at it. So I made a comment earlier about this week's Torah portion that they mentioned Shabbat. Anybody else know like the big story that happens in this week's Torah portion? Here's your hint. They had to take off all their jewelry, all their gold, melt it down, the tree was gone, right? So our tree of life, beautiful piece of art that used to be on that wall, has been taken down because it went on a journey. It had some surgery first, and then it went on a journey, and will be put back up in our other building. But when they were trying to take that tree down, there was a plan. Take it off the wall. It's really heavy. I don't know how many friends were here when it was created. It's so beautiful. But guess what? It didn't fit out the door. That's not what we wanted, right? And so then we called Susan, the artist, to come in, and the people who were helping us take it down, and they had to actually cut the frame off, the different size, and so it can be reassembled, right? Things don't always go as planned, but they kept winding their watch until they figured out the right way, and it will be with us in our next place. I promise you that when we move, who's ever moved into a new house? Who's still in their current house they live in at least has one light switch they don't know what it does? Right? I promise you, we're going to have to keep winding that watch, and eventually we will find our aha moment of the watchmaker, being able to, as long as we keep going and we don't give up, to make things settle and be in place. And so I hope that we think about that as we continue to pray in this space for the next 2 weeks, and then transition into our new sacred home. So may my wish for all of you this Shabbat be that whatever is going on, whether in our communal life or in your personal life, that you just keep winding it and keep winding it and keep winding it until that moment that you are able to slip into the groove again to whatever you need it to be, whether that be fixed or whether that be getting through a moment to the next. And I hope each one of us is able to keep winding our metaphorical watches in all of our lives. Shabbat shalom. We're going to turn back to our prayer book now so we can conclude our service. I'm going to invite everyone to open to the words of Aleinu, page 586. I'm going to invite the kids in the room if they would like to. Shiloh, Milo, Leah, Eliana, Toby, Ari. Did I miss anyone? If they would like to come up. Wait, pause 2 seconds. They're going to open our ark for us. We're on page 586, and I'm going to invite the congregation to please rise. Okay, now you can open the ark, friends. Shiloh, Milo, will you help with the button? Wonderful. We're going to keep opening it all the way. You're going to stay up there with us, and we'll join together in Aleinu together. Aleinu l'shabeach b'adon hakol, v'tekidu al yoser reishit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, u'moshe yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, u'shinatu zo, ve'gohei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatuv b'torato, ve'yadata hayom ve'hashavota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim imal, ve'al haaretz mitachat ein od. Page 591 together. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, with freedom and of peace. V'nemar v'chaya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz v'yom ha'hu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Friends, you may close the ark. You may be seated. All of the grown-ups that these children belong to, is it okay if I offer them a sweet? As our prayers draw to a close, we turn our thoughts to our loved ones who are no more. Tonight we remember one taken from us recently, Larry Zachem. And to his name we add the name of those who passed away during the past year: Stephen Zuckerman, Erwin Shabe, Jeannie Samuels, Robert Berenson, Stacy Summer, Alvin Mykoff, John Carlson, Ruth Ann Miller, John Roheim, Barry Burton, Shirley Judge, Betty Simmons, Lee Kaplan, Joanne Bender, Leonard Knackman, Rowan Hausman, Maureen Corcoran, and Lucy Silva. We also think of those who died at this season in years past and whose family members are observing the Yortzeit, the anniversary of death, on this Shabbat. Lee Henry Berg, Clara Cole, Leonard Edelman, Eleanor Frankel, Rosalind Geisenberger, Eric Gieden, Domingo Gonzalez, Joseph Joda Casson, Hyman Kraft, Mary Louise Levy, Sybil Bender Lubar, Paul Marks Jr., Louise Sarah Meyer, Isaac Posner, Alfred Sklover, Dan Watsky, and Anne Zachem. If there are others you are remembering this evening, if you'd like to share their names aloud, I invite you to do so. For those names we heard aloud, those whom we hold in our hearts, and those who have lost their lives to war in Israel, let us offer these words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 598, and I invite you to rise if you wish. Yit gadol v'yit kadash shemei rabba, ve'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yom echon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mivarach leolam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitzadar v'yitzaleh v'yitzalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May all their memories be for a blessing, as together we say, Amen. You may be seated. Lindsay, are you my board presenter, or would you like to be my board presenter? Putting you on the spot. Well, I'm happy you are with us and that you will volunteer to be our board presenter. Yes. Okay, thank you. Announcements for Friday, March 1st. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us tonight for services. We welcome everyone. Tomorrow morning, there will be Torah study in the social hall and on Zoom at 9:30, Minyan in the green room at 10 a.m., services in the sanctuary and on YouTube at 10:30. Tomorrow night, there will be a Havdalah service on Zoom hosted by the Saxey family at 5:30. Thank you so much to those who have helped us clean, sort, and pack. We will continue to call upon you to help us move into our new home. We have begun our process of moving to the Kleinert building. We will continue to celebrate Shabbat here for the next 2 weeks. Our first Shabbat in our new home will be Friday, March 22nd. Join us Friday, March 22nd and Saturday, March 23rd to celebrate and dedicate. We will gather for Shabbat and to celebrate Purim. For details about all the events, refer to your invitation, your email, and our website. For more details about these events and more, please go to our website or refer to the weekly announcements. And I noticed that the newsletter went out today for March. There's lots of details about the dedication in there. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And what a lovely job pinch hitting to offer our announcements.
In a moment, we'll join together in Kiddush and Motzi. But first, let us join together in a closing song. I've really enjoyed the singing tonight, so an oldie but a goodie, one of my faves when everybody's excited to sing, Adon Olam, which we can find on page, I'm almost there, 625. Can you tell Robbie Rubin loves us in Adon Olam? 625. Oh, I didn't hear what you actually said, but please sing loudly, very joyous. Let us sing together. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefsa Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hove, Vehu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Vehu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Laham Shilo Lehachbira Adon Olam, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Velo ha'oz ve'hamizra Adon Olam, Vehu Eli, Vechai Goali, V'tzor Chevli be'et Tzara Adon Olam, Vehu Nisi, Umanosli, Menat Kosi be'yom Ekra Adon Olam, Be'yado, Afkid Ruchi, Be'et Ishan ve'ayira Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruchi Geviati, Adonai li ve'yoira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefsa Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. I invite you now to turn to page 123, where we find the words of our Shabbat evening Kiddush. I'm going to invite Paula to come forward and lift our Kiddush cup high. And as she's coming up, thank her again for our delicious nourishment before services, which I'm sure you can have more of because there was just so much and so plentiful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Page 123, we're going to join together in Kiddush, and I invite everybody to please rise. There should be a cup there for you. Wonderful. We will do together, absolutely. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. L'chaim. I heard it's white grape juice tonight. You'll have to tell us how it is. Well, it's a great vintage, right? That's James said it was white grape juice tonight. If you can uncover our challah for us, I'm going to invite everyone, if you're comfortable, to come closer to Paula if you'd like. And Paula, are you comfortable with someone that's touching the challah? With people coming closer to you?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, everybody's welcome to come closer, and we join together. There goes Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Enjoy some challah. And I do think there's a little nosh left over if you'd like to have a little more. Michelle said the same thing from like my first what I used to do standing next to her versus what I can do now. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's like become muscle. Like I do it every week now, so it's just different. Thank you for jumping in. I looked around the room. I'm like, I'm not sure how it's supposed to be. So Lindsay's here, so I call him. That worked. Yeah. Because he's it doesn't. Yeah. We started at a different place. I didn't start in a good place, but he and I started in two different places. Oh. Sorry that you got stuck in all of this construction. Hallmark, I said it. Yeah, Junior. Hallmark's Junior. Well, since you're here, would you like us to pull out and we can do more Spanish together real quick? Yeah, just the two of us. Is that okay with you? It's you. Yeah, they're tearing up Jefferson Road. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are, I don't know if you're looking at English, if you're looking over here. Let's just do it together. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rava ve'alma divra pirutei v'yamlik malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dekol beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman kariv imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rava mevarach le'olam olamei
Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitroman, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei, Dekudashah, Barichu, Le'ela, Minkol, Berchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechamata, Tamiran, Ve'alma, V'imru, Amen, Yehei, Shlama, Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chaim, Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen, Osei Shalom, V'imromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. May his memory always be blessed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Remind me your first name again. Anne, thank you.
I'm so excited about the move.
The building looks so beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, very soon. March 22nd is our first Friday night service over there. Yeah.
I just, it's been long, ever since the process combined, and I thought, so I just, I'm Catholic, I always Jewish, I was always here, and after since he died, it's like, I just want to be here, so I'm trying to figure out
Yes, well, happy to have you here. And when we move to that other building, this has been a beautiful space. They've really, the interior designers have really put a lot into that space and bringing the important moments of and things of this space and important things of that space and really combining them together. It's going to be beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Henry. Oh, yeah.
Show more than second.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow morning. I don't even know if I can.
I remember because Khadavi had shown more the floor, but
Yeah.
they're in the opposite order of what they
Yeah. I also, you want to know what I've been thinking about? I feel like you might get it. It normally happens Shabbat morning. Shabbat morning when I go into silent prayer, I need to call this book. This is all I can think about. Ritzeh has two different Fatimot in this book. Two different signatures. One that's Hamachazir Shechinatel Etzion, which I think is the more traditional one, and then She'otecha Levaraka B'Yira Na'avot. It's the only prayer I think that in the entire book that the Chatima on the left does not match the Chatima on the right. Now I'm so intrigued to know what. You think there's another one?
Yeah, as I noticed that too, because every once in a while we'll do
Yeah.
the one on the left, and I said, "Hey,
If you find the other one, point it out to me. If it's another one. But that's what I've been thinking about recently. I almost want to call the people who edited this book and ask. I went home and asked Josh the first time I started thinking about it, and we couldn't. The fact that the Chatima of Ritzeh on the left is different than the Chatima of the Ritzeh on the
the guy that edited it when it died, sent you a thing that he died."
It was all, but the
Oh,
other.
but no, that's
Yeah.
the-
No, different edition. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I thought a connection, but not that close of a connection to ask that anymore, right? Yeah. For your father's name, do you want someone to change in the office or just share the present? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not surprised. Yeah. And so I'll make sure it's on next week. Yeah. Wonderful.
If it's not, I'll
Okay. Let me see.
seen the new building, the way it's carved out now. It's been maybe a couple of years since I've been.
It is impressive. You will walk in and you'll just be.
Yeah, I've probably been maybe 2 or 3 times in the past. It's nice, but not as nice as what it's about to